Welcome back. We're doing post-recording again, and it's, again, not for experimentation purposes, but rather just because the audio didn't record on my initial playthrough, so... And again, it's my own user failure. It was, happened on the End is Nigh, it's gotta happen on Isaac. These things do happen, from time to time. Anyways, we're starting this off, it's a greed mode, it's Isaac. We have to get his unlock, we have to add coins to the machine, so on and so forth. We're checking out the curse room for the potential bounties within, and we have HP to give away, and we're playing the Demon Beggar as well, because those boys tend to have good spoils for us. This one, however, is going to prove a little bit of a hard-to-get individual. I mean, again, with Greed Mode, your highest priority is syringes, to give you that tasty little spun transformation. And that's how we always go for it. Demon Beggars are a good route. And we're slowly just making our way through these waves here. Nothing spectacular, we just have to try not to take damage, despite the fact that these buttholes in the floor, literal assholes, can shoot bullets directly at us. If there are too many enemies in the room, instead of spawning a cornfly, they will shoot at you. And it's very disconcerting, because it almost never happens in the normal game. And yet here we are. Ah, the mysteries of Greed Mode. Anyways, we're buying a key, just because there's no key on sale, we might as well get that out of the way right now. And we do decide to open up the gold chest at the cost of that key we purchased. They're on sale, so they're the same price as the red heart we obtained from that golden chest. And we used it to kind of play the Demon Beggar some more, but nothing good has happened just yet. We entered our item room with another key. Got Mom's contact, nothing spectacular, but it could be a little bit of a help. Disabling certain enemies for a small amount of time to allow us to focus on the others. It's quite useful. Anyways, we're making our way through these roundworms. Little sons of a bitches with highly, high velocity shots. And we're moving on to the boss here, which is going to be very cruel with the DPS that we do have. We've not made very good use, well, we've not seen very good results from Isaac's D6 here. It's just a very mediocre seed. There's not much you can do about that besides grin and bear it. And now both of the bosses are alive and well. We have to deal with that as effectively as possible. We're trying to juggle this baby Steven here, and I run directly into the flies like an incompetent moron. And the little Steven is just about dispatched. There he goes. So we have to focus on the Duke here. And once again we take damage that should not be even considered from a modern Isaac player's perspective. And you might be able to guess how this first attempt is going to end up. That is, we're going to have a very high mortality rate. It's just got to happen. Got to purge it. Written, forget about it. Nothing to write home about, certainly. Something you want to keep secret from everybody everywhere, but here I am sharing it publicly to the internet. An embarrassment for sure. Nothing that'll help us in those exit rooms, sadly. So, I mean, we could buy any of these syringes, but I still want to try to get the free one from the Demon Beggar. Free, of course, meaning we're gonna have to pay him a lot of HP. So here he goes giving us some nasty pills that no one gives a heck about. And we could look for the secret room, but those are pretty hard to find in Greed Mode, with only 2 bombs in tow. I'm excited is actually literally the kiss of death here. I try frantically to reset it, but it will reactivate within a matter of time rather than a matter of rooms explored. So he does pay out with the syringe, which is nice. And here goes I'm excited. It has activated, and we are literally dead. The lust gained too much speed, and we could not outrun it. That's the fate we have to endure. Anyways, now we're on a, spoiler alert, much better seed. I am not going to hesitate to disclose that. First of all, we get growth hormones from the Demon Beggar, which is a much more polite result. Common courtesy you'd expect of these kinds of things. And a High Priestess card will be a very nice boss annihilator. So we have a good Tears upgrade available for us. It's probably going to be our first option here that we're looking towards. But first we have to clear out the waves and earn our money. I took damage against a spider there that was not very appetizing. But actually inconsequential compared to the effects of the previous run. These portals can be really annoying if you allow them to persevere. But we did not. And we stepped on the button there early, and you just see that? Now we have enough charge on our D6 to reroll our item room if necessary. We've not gone an ounce over, and we've not wasted any waves of charge. And we got Deadeye, which is just obscenely nice for this. Well, Deadeye is a very nice item in general. And it'll be pretty good in greed mode as well, because there's always going to be plenty of enemies for your tiers to find themselves hitting. We can't maintain the combo always, and missing an enemy a couple of times is going to break it. But it's a very nice passive damage upgrade regardless. The best thing about it is that it actually affects your damage stat. It doesn't just make your tiers bigger as they're spawned. Take a hit to Dingle, and this run starts looking quite precipitous, but there's no need to worry because we will live. We will live. There's just 4 Larrys here, not the hardest wave to deal with, and there's plenty of poops that I can obtain after resetting the room. We will not have a charge for our D6, so we just go ahead and pick up the battery right now, get that out of the way. Take the Mr. Dolly, which gave us 3 random hearts, and for once the red hearts from the Mr. Dolly are actually quite worthwhile. And we'll use our High Priestess here to dispatch of both Gemini and Lust, without a trace, before they can even think of hurting us. 2 Yera runes. Sadly, you cannot duplicate a Yera rune with a Yera rune. That's the first rule of Yera runes. Internalize it, for it is an important one. And of course, we use the Yera rune in our shop to double all of the consumables for free. We got 2 keys out of it and a heart. And we're going to use the Ace of Clubs to extract some free bombs from that deceased chest, and it worked out quite well. And we even luckily find our secret room attached to our item room. Very nice stuff. With some more Ace of Blank cards. I mean, they're not literal blank cards, but you know what I mean. Ace of whatever it is. Now I guess we'll move on with our Ace of Diamonds in tow. Ace of Diamonds may seem useless in greed mode, but you'll see, it can actually be pretty nice. So we have Sister Maggie available to us, and a Blood Clot. And our item, or our shop, is actually pretty good. It gives us multiple sources of damage that we will be interested in purchasing. And a Key Beggar, which is kind of comical, because you never have an excess or surplus of keys in greed mode. And we just get out of that cursor, nothing else to really see in there except a potential secret room. And we actually reroll the boss item. It's HP, nothing spectacular. Nothing out of the ordinary. And we're gonna reroll that again, presumably. We could have rerolled Sister Maggie, but the boss item pool is relatively reliable for pure DPS. I'm fairly certain the average item in the boss item pool is going to be better off than a lot of mediocre passive items in the standard item pool. Just kind of the way the game is. Anyways, the waves of pure troll bombs are kind of nice. As long as you can dodge them, they will kill off a lot of the other enemies just littered around. I take damage against Pin there, of all things. What a strange world we find ourselves in. And we're fighting the Stain as our final of 2 boss waves. Going down without a hitch, thanks to our Deadeye being able to maintain a complete and utter extra damage bonus. The little horns that spawn from our Devil Wave, however, are going to be a different issue entirely. They move around a lot, so it's hard to keep a steady eye on them. But we still get through it quite effectively. And these are champion little horns. They only spawn, they spawn balls. They don't throw bombs, they don't teleport, they don't throw holes. They do teleport, but everything else is the same. And here's where we use our Ace of Diamonds play. We've saved all the coins on the room, and now we've transmogrified them into a different set of coins. Normally, coins that spawn in greed mode are just single pennies, nothing more. But with the Ace of Diamonds, you can reroll those into potentially a nickel, which we did get, and even a lucky penny, which was very nice to cancel out the luck downgrade, even though luck is pretty inconsequential in greed mode. And we also rerolled our boss item once again into an HP up. That also comes with a Tears upgrade. A very nice supplement to our DPS. And finally on the depths floor, not finally, but next up, we find Daddy Longlegs. A very nice addition to our little menagerie. And bombing open that stone chest awarded us 5 cents. A very satisfactory get. The Tears down is a bit of an insult, considering we were at the Tears cap, thanks to just our 2 Tears upgrade items, but oh well. Not the worst thing possible, and we could buy these toothpicks to get our Tears back, but it's full price, 15 cents, not necessarily worth it. The difference between 6 and 5 Tears is... I'm gonna do some mental math here. Not a lot, basically. Not enough to justify 15 cents. Pretty swift at mental math. Anyways, working our way through the depths, killing some roundworms. Interestingly enough, there was a wave in which just some little horn balls spawned and nothing else. Kind of like the troll bombs, I suppose. Anyways, we get rid of those hives. We are chowing down on the wall clingers, and we already have our standard waves clear. We're re-rolling these items just a tad. And nothing exemplary in there either. So we move on to the bosses. And there's a Peep, which is typically a caves boss. Fighting it in the depths is a welcome surprise. Monster 2 is a little bit more appropriate. A somewhat tougher foe. But we can just kind of avoid his relatively easy patterns. And finally trigger the Devil Wave. 2 horsemen, again, from earlier floors, so they should not be much of a hassle whatsoever. And there we go, we got an Angel Room because we never had established Devil Precedent. An Eternal Heart, and we cannot bomb the Angel statue because we have no bombs. It would have been nice to bomb the Angel, kill it, obtain a key piece, and re-roll it, but we do not have that luxury, sadly. And another Tears upgrade that we're just going to ignore. In hindsight, those Tears upgrades would have probably been worth the money, but hey, hindsight 2020. Angry Fly and Mom's Underwear. You roll Mom's Underwear into Wooden Spoon for the speed upgrade. Not the worst. And, aside from that, we don't have... Look at this! Our curse room contained 2 guppy pieces immediately available to us. And honestly, we just choose to leave them there for now. We're gonna have quite a doozy of a reroll time. Obviously, we've already taken our boss item, so we don't have to waste a reroll there. And as a matter of fact, I will just take the Angry Fly. I mean, not yet. We'll do it later. A little bit of a sneak peek ahead of the run. And we're looking for anything nice in this shop here. Mom's Key, a beginner's trap. Don't need keys, don't need golden chest opening capabilities. I already have enough keys to last the remainder of the floor, which is literally just shoal. And there is no key room in the shop to spend a key on. And look at that! We have Hive Mind available to us, which will make our very likely guppy prospects even more possible, or even more powerful. And we bought the X-ray vision from the shop in order to access our secret rooms. Probably not the soundest investment, but it's a fun one. It's nice to get a feeling for how the secret rooms look like. How the secret rooms look like? For what the secret rooms look like in greed mode. And that is to say, they're pretty nice. Not necessarily worth 15 cents when you're this late in the game, but it'll do. And those Brimstone Ghosts, being able to chew through the Brimstone Ghosts with little resistance whatsoever is a very good sign in terms of our progress. And we don't have anything, we will not be able to charge up our D6 again if we do use it now, so we just opt out of using it anywhere else. We just hold on to it for the potential Devil Deal. Mostly though, we're holding on to it for our Curse Room reroll. Slowly but surely chewing through the Skull-X, a very annoying boss without any reliable way to deal damage to his tail. There we go. He finally propped it up for us. A very strange Sister Viz wave for our Devil Deal. I suppose it's appropriately difficult for this point of the game. But still, they can be quite a mind flood. Now that we've killed one pair, they're quite easy. And of course, all the maggot throwers, those are gone. There's our Devil Deal. 2 actual items for once, and we're going to go ham on this Demon Judgment. Feed him all of our HP. Another Luckdown pill is nothing to write home about. We'll buy our lump of coal. We got experimental treatment from him, while lowering our tiers gave us a superb amount of DPS. Not superb, but he gave us spun, and that's the big factor there. It also gave us an HP back, which is very nice. Which is effectively just Guppy's paw fodder, in hindsight. Anyways, now we've taken our dead cat, we've taken our paw, we reroll, and we get Guppy's head to give us Guppy. Fantastic, isn't it? Quite lucky, honestly. The Curse Room could have had any other sort of Curse Room item, but we got Guppy's head. And now that we're Guppy with Hive Mind, nothing will stand in our way. And of course, Deadeye skyrockets our damage when we have the combo appropriately high. Some Soul Hearts in our Secret Room to keep us topped off if we take damage, and a lead pencil in our item room, which will be a very fun one. Each of those lead pencil shots is another opportunity to spawn a fly, thanks to Guppy. And it looks kick-ass. A giant burst of tears, so good. Just making our way through the shoal waves. Angry Fly is kind of orbiting around, minding his own business. And Sister Viz just chilling there. We've already killed a couple of other Sister Viz, so nothing new there. Grab some coin, move on to the boss waves. 2 Ragmen is a joke at this point. Not very appropriate for shoal. And 2 Horsemen also similarly laughable. And I do believe we'll check the cursor one last time for some bombs. Top off our HP. Fight the Devil Wave, which is 2 Krampuses. Krampi? However you wish to pluralize it. Anyways, nothing special there. Just some more soul hearts to keep us tippy-top. And of course, this is a Curse of the Blind floor, so no purpose in re-rolling those items. We'll save our money for the next floor. Isaac just got owned by that snowball. Rest in peace, little buddy. Those flashbacks are all sorts of funny to strange to straight up depressing. Anyways, we re-roll the virus into purity. Get a load of that description. It's pretty meaty. Every time you take a hit, you will be able to re-roll your purity bonus. Be it voluntarily or not. If an enemy hits you, that's a re-roll. Anyways, we got the tears bonus, which means our tear delay is lowered manually by 4. We go from 7 to 3, which is actually more than doubling our DPS, which is just insane. We're looking for a tears up here, which Odd Mushroom does classify as, but we opted out of that because it is also a damage downgrade. Anyways, now we're gonna just totally tear anus down here with our free rate of fire. We're being very careful to avoid taking damage from anybody because that would reset our purity for the entire remainder of the waves, once we press the button and leave the room and return, in which it will assign us a new random stat bonus. Anyways, yep, there go. We managed to clear out that wave that had the spiky rovers before they could stick around, which was very nice. And we're killing the bosses with complete ease, and finally, well, I mean, we're gonna use our D6 eventually to reroll once more for a Tears upgrade, but the all-time classic Devil Wave down here, which is 2 stains and all those nerve endings. We did take a hit against that stain, which is very annoying. It switched our modifier into range. We do not want that, no sir. So we go to use the curse room. First of all, we visit the curse room, finds a devil card, and now we just hurt ourselves against these hallowed halls, hoping for a Tears upgrade, and lo and behold, it has been returned to us. We can't even reroll that shop, so we're gonna have to settle for subpar Tears. A little bit of a higher tier delay than it could have been. If we had a 5 tier delay, then that would be lowered by purity to 1, which is just insane. That's akin to that of having soy milk, without the nasty damage downgrade. And greed mode, or greed here. Yes, greed mode, the final boss of greed mode. Hello, it is I, Isaac. I mean, Isaac is the name of the protagonist of Isaac, so I guess that does make sense. Anyways, I mean, look at him melting. This is double speed, but even if you play it at half speed, it's an insanely quick greed fight. We got Isaac's unlock, the little chest. We're gonna smash ourselves against this mother freaking donation machine. Load it up nice and good. And we deposit all of the money in here. We have our Ring of Flies comforting us. Look at Angry Fly, he's just orbiting those doors. He thinks they're enemies. He orbits enemies. That's his gimmick. Anyways, he thinks the doors are enemies. It's very strange. It's a weird interaction. But it could be useful against the minions that greed does spawn. If they're emerging, the Angry Fly might be able to intercept them. That's a very fringe scenario. And we have our 1% jam chance, but it did not trigger, which is super nice. We're up to 262 cents. Let's get out of there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, perhaps leave a like down there. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing. Well, it's necessarily soliciting those from you, but I technically am. Anyways, think of it more like a friendly invitation. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.